how's it going, Camp Tadia? Patrick here, and today I am taking you on an adventure all the way to a place called the Grotto of Redemption. It's this really awesome place that was built by Father Robert Dobbenstein. Strange name, I know. But this grotto was made entirely out of rocks and crystals. It is an amazing sight, and I can't wait to share it with you. So, let's jump right into it. All right, so before we begin our journey into this place, we have to go over a few things. This entire place is filled with crystals everywhere. The entire building is built out of rocks and crystals. It's amazing. But if we're gonna be in here with a bunch of crystals, we should probably know what we're looking for. So we're gonna do a bit of a scavenger hunt. All right, so I have a few crystals I want you guys to be looking for. First off, I wanted to see if you can find this barite. All right, you can see a bigger version on the screen. Barite is very cool. It kind of forms in ball shapes, or like peanuts, or sometimes they're known as barite roses. They're very cool. Next, we have rose quartz. Now, rose quartz is a type of quartz that is pinkish. So if you see any pink rocks when we're going through these, it's probably rose quartz. Next, we have some amethyst. Now, amethyst is a bright purple, shiny rock, just like this. So if you see any large purple crystals, probably amethyst. Next, we have a quartz crystal. Now, quartz crystals are just normal crystals. They're very see-through and clear and very large. All right, next we have some biotite mica. Now, this mica is a little bit different that I have. It comes in little tiny sheets or plates. So if you see anything that's very flat and sparkly, it's probably biotite mica. Next is some calcite. Now, my calcites are a little bit different than the one on the screen. That one is some calcite spikes, and I have double stone and TV stone here, which are a little different. But calcite looks like a large pinnacle that is a yellow or whitish crystal. Finally, what we want to be looking for is this, some fool's gold. Now, this isn't real gold, it is fake. It is mostly made out of copper and a few other materials. But fool's gold is bright and shiny and looks like regular gold. All right, let's get started. All right, so here we go. We're heading up the steps of one of the first areas I visited. This area is very cool. You can see on the walls, there's some quartz crystals. There's some rose quartz in there. If you look, you can see the pink crystals in there as well. This whole building is made out of all these tiny crystals that this priest collected and cemented together to actually make the walls, the roof. Every part of this building is made out of these crystals. It's so cool. As we head up further, you should be able to see different seams in the walls. And eventually, once we get to the top here, you can see the overlook of everything. You'll see there's some rose quartz pillars. There's even some calcite spikes that they've made as like the top points of this building here. Some really cool stuff. Now that we're a little closer, you can see that some of these crystals are just massive. That crystal right there is larger than my hand. It's huge. They didn't only use crystals, they also have stalagmites, which are cave rocks that formed inside caves. Some really cool stuff here. Here we go. This is my favorite type of crystal. This is fluorite. Fluorite is amazing. It forms in these like cube structures that you can see there. They look like tiny cities in this crystal. I love it so much. They come in all different colors, green, purple, yellow, even some orange ones we can see later. So cool. priest who made this didn't only use crystals, he also used seashells and other structures as well. You can see here, he would form the crystals around a central shell and build this really interesting art design that looks so interesting in his creations here. It's really fun to look at. Here's another angle of that large calcite spike at the top of the building we saw earlier. I'm going to take this time to tell you the amazing story behind how that came to be there. So apparently, the priest who was building this went out looking and found all of his rocks on his own. And he was out looking in a cave for some rocks. And he got lost in there for 3 days in the pitch black darkness. And he found this crystal while he was in there. But when he came out of the cave, he was completely blind and had to be slowly rehabilitated with really low light treatments in a hospital before he could see again. And after he was finally able to see again, he went back and had a crew excavate this massive calcite crystal from the cave that he was in. So it's a really interesting story on how he found this crystal. Alright, so this is one of the main areas that we went to. You can see Maggie and I are just in awe of this. It's so impressive. This whole place is made of either white or green or black crystals, or seashells and coral. You can see a whole bunch of little tiny seashells and coral formations are all over this place. It's so impressive. They also have some stalagmites that they have placed in various places. Some of them are sticking out of the wall, some of them are hanging down, some of them even serve as makeshift candle things. It's very interesting there. Here's another awesome section of the grotto where they used the crystals to actually make different pictures. Like there's a serpent right there. They have a quartz river going through there. You can see quartz, amethyst, rose quartz all over the place. It is such a cool area. You can see that they tried to make some trees. They're still working on that point. Okay, so right here, this is a piece of the grotto that I managed to place. So last time I was here, they were doing some renovations on the grotto. And so I got to put one of the crystals in. Alright, so Maggie filmed this section, and you can see just how massive everything is. Like, I'm just standing there looking around at all of these crystals, and everything around me is just so massive. It's amazing. This is a cluster of geodes. It's really cool. We'll get a closer look there, and then at the stalagmite right behind it. So this has been my trip to the grotto. It was amazing. I love seeing all these gemstones. But before we left, we got a chance to check out a rock museum. So let's see how that goes. Outside of the rock museum was covered in some of the coolest crystals that I had seen the entire time there. Just check it out. They have some amazing rocks and samples here. It looks really awesome. Inside this rock museum, they had a ton of fish. I know, right? Fish. What were they doing? But they had a ton of fish that were carved out of rocks and gemstones, and they were so cool. So I'm just gonna let you guys check out all of these fish. Comment which fish is your favorite. I think the ruby one is my favorite. after we checked out the fish, we saw this very interesting case of rocks, and some of them seemed to be glowing. So we decided to turn off the lights, and after we did that, we saw this, which is amazing. So these were fluorescent rocks, which glow in the presence of black light, or UV light. It's really cool. Finally, after all of that fun we had, Maggie and I decided to buy our own geodes. Now, if you don't know what geodes are rocks that have crystals inside of them. On the outside, they look like a normal brown, regular rock, but on the inside, the water has seeped into them and created these really special crystals. So I'm gonna break mine open in slow motion for you here. You guys ready? Check it out, got some pretty cool crystals in there. There's even some that got scattered around. Looks pretty good. I'm impressed. Alright, so next is Maggie's attempt at opening her geode, and as you'll see in a second, she had a bit of trouble trying to crack it open. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, pretty. Oh, there's some big ones in here. Look at that. So, as you can see, Maggie's had some really cool crystals in it. Hers shattered open completely, and it looks pretty cool. Most of the inside is solid quartz crystal. It's awesome. All right, that's our road trip for today. Thank you guys for tagging along. I will see you next time. Stay safe out there.